talked about the epidermis and dermis, which together makes up the cutaneous membrane, aka your skin. Now below that we have the hypodermis. So the hypodermis is below the dermis. Makes sense, right? So what we see is that instead of being dense irregular connective tissue, it's actually loose connective tissue. And more specifically, the two main tissues or types of tissues that make up the hypodermis are that very open, like more fluid areolar connective tissue, which has very few fibers, a lot of ground substance, and also white adipose tissue. So this is where you find a lot of that, what we call subcutaneous fat. So this is why you have all that yellow colored, like this blobby corn-like looking thing we see in the hypodermis. That is fat. So if you've been ever unfortunate enough to get a wound that's very deep, and it definitely needs stitches if it's that deep, you might have been able to see that kind of like a yellow corn-like substance. That's why like a lot of people describe it as, and that is the underlying fat below your cutaneous membrane. So this is what we call hypodermic fat or subcutaneous fat. And the cool thing is that what we have is that, or if you're into fitness, you might be, this is the one that people are trying to shed when they're trying to get super ripped for like bodybuilding or fitness competitions. So the subcutaneous fat adds the bulk and also covers up, if you're really into working out, that's what covers up the muscles as well. And this is what we see. Now, is this scientific? Not necessarily. It's just something I pulled up from the internet. But it just shows you like, okay, there's different ranges of sub-Q fat. But the less sub-Q fat and body fat percentage you have, you start to see more of the underlying structures below the subcutaneous fat. So you still have your cutaneous membrane, but with less white adipose, you have less packing and less material covering up things like your muscle and all the fascia underneath. So that's what we have with like sub-Q fat. Or this guy right here, like look at this. I mean, he's super shredded, and it's kind of funny. His glutes look like pecs. I mean, he has like very little subcutaneous fat here. So that's why you see all the striations, because without the unfortunate white adipose doesn't have much form or function, or not function. It doesn't hold its shape as well as skeletal muscle. That's why, like, but yeah, you can definitely see the fascicles and striations in his skeletal muscle over there.